but they definitely have got another opportunity here to maybe give Eric Baska an opportunity to have a go.
They're just dwelling on Sheehan. He's picked up 6 seconds bonus. Is that Bradley Wiggins who's just riding? Yes, it is. The other side of him. But we'll dwell on Sheehan because we know about Brad and his new funky shoes, which say wham on them. There we are. But yeah, Sheehan is going to have a good position today, provided he finishes in the pack because of his 6-second bonus. Here we are. Big approach then, big swooper. It's time to act then, and that's exactly what they're doing. But our breakaway still spirited. 25 seconds they've got. Big swooper coming in with 9.6 to go. There's a kink about 4 Ks out, and then I think this is going to be a very late catch, most certainly. Maybe it's going to be about that point. This is the big swoop. They'll go all the way around. There's the breakaway, bottom of your picture, and they've still got to take it. Still not overly motivated, Brian, with 9.4 to go. I'm wondering whether they may have made a mistake here today, because these guys can push, and suddenly the pickup is from Patton.
No, I was just about to say, looking at that last rise, easy for me to say that Dan Payton did look the strongest. He flicked his elbow, and Rathe never came past him. So it does look as if Dan Payton knew about a kilometre ago that he was the strongest, and the 2 other riders that he was with are starting to toil a little bit. This gap coming down to 20 seconds now, coming into the inside the last 10 kilometres now. So Dan Payton decides that if he feels good, he's going to have a crack, but I don't think it's going to be enough, and I think we are going to see a bunch finish today.
Katusha then in the red, joined by Rally Cycling, R-A-L-L-Y, by the way, as opposed to E-I-G-H, in the orange, and they want a piece of today, at least to get up to the 4, before it all starts to break down. We'll see. The lead teams for the sprint: Christoph and Katusha. Mark Cavendish for Dimension Data. Yes, Cav is here. Haven't dwelt too much on him, the cameras, as you can see our breakaway boys start to try and at least pick something up. That's Rathe and Clark trying to make the best of it, as Patton has actually just been caught and he's going back. It was a last roll for him, and here is that kick. So Patton and the push, I'm afraid, goes backwards. This is good work by Clark, considering he's a sprinter. He's investing a lot at the moment, and he's dragging Rathe, who led out his teammate Sheehan from Jelly Belly on both of the intermediate sprints. So Patton's going to go back. He's going to get caught, but 25 seconds they've got right now. These little injections of pace are doing them some good work as we pass the sort of violet trees as we go by, and they're still tapping it out here, Brian, and doing a good job.
Yeah, they're really suffering in front. I think Rathe is just on his last legs. Clark has done a very good job today in the black, and he's going to take that King of the Mountains jersey at the end of today's stage. But they're giving it absolutely everything, as you would expect. Both Americans in a big American race. You can just see just behind him Dan Payton. He's trying to claw his way back, but he looks behind, sees the peloton just behind, and he'll know that he'll have to wait and try another day.
He will indeed. It's a long old drag that they've got. They just come up to a modest little peak. You can barely see it, but maybe there's a little accent for you to get hold of. We then go down to Mission Bay. Once we get to the 5Ks out marker, we're just starting to see the exit from the built-up areas. Those trees look absolutely spectacular, don't they? 7.5 Ks to go. It's sort of arrow straight with a kink at about 4 Ks. But I'm afraid the breakaway is done and dusted. Just look at that pack as we speak. Just about everyone together, and they'll be declaring that fairly soon, Brian.
Yeah, did you see the helicopter shot? The pack is actually swarming. Nobody really wants to kind of take it on from the front. They all want to be there, and that's why you got everybody, you know, this manoeuvring about behind the kind of string of riders. It's Daniel Tikla-Hemanets, the Eritrean rider that wore the King of the Mountains jersey at the Tour de France last year at the front. Machado is in second place. The rest of the Katusha team in the red are there, but everybody else is just coming up. They know they have to be near the front, but these roads are so wide that you can leave it a little bit late.
Well, they're leaving it very, very late as we speak because, as Brian was saying, nobody really wants to pick it up at the moment. BMC suddenly come and join the fun. And at last, Lotto Jumbo. I'm wondering if Groeneweggen's going to do much of the work on his own. He's got some decent lead-outs, including the likes of Martin Vinance and Rob Wagner, who can help with the toil. But it may well be that Groenewegen goes freestyle if there's a big lead-out train, of which Mark Cavendish is going to have an advantage of. He's got Mark Renshaw here, last man standing usually in the line, although that can change. And Tyler Ferrer as well is also on board, naturally enough, for the boys from Dimension Data. They're in the black and white towards the front. They've been doing a lot of work today. We've been asking whether it's been too much. I guess we're going to find out any moment now. BMC also in the house with Jean-Pierre Drucker, Jean-Pierre Drucker, the Luxembourger. A very quick man. Greg Van Avermaet, I think, will be his last man to run him in. Don't count out Tom Boonen on a day like this, Brian.
No, not at all. He's strong enough. He's got a strong enough team, that's for sure. You can just see the ocean on the right-hand side. We go down this road with about just over 3 kilometres ago. It kind of opens up. You can just see the water also on the left-hand side. So I think that's why we're starting to see the teams coming up in formation. They know that the wind is coming off the sea. As soon as it opens up, you can just see it opens up in another kind of kilometres time. The wind will come from the right-hand side, and you know, it could produce you know, the peloton stretching out a little bit. But it's Sky for the first time coming towards the front, and also in the fluorescent yellow you've got the Tinkoff team, and then on the red and the black you see the team of BMC.
Giant also very much designed to play with our minds as well here. Peter Kennick doing a good piece of pushing on as well. You can see the British champion there with his hoops across his chest. It's Pacey. So these are the leaders. They've got a 22-second advantage and time running out for everybody here. They are still thinking about it a bit too much, to my mind. Cannondale on the edge of the road, riding the gutter. There's the kink I was telling you. That's with 4Ks to go as we come to Mission Bay. Absolutely beautiful part of the world here. And you can see a little bit of beach as well to play with. And 500 metres to go until that important point. 2 bridges to take. They will have a rise and fall as we get to Vacation Isle. As soon as they've crossed both of the bridges, so one onto the island, another one off the Ingram Street, and we will have about 2Ks remaining. 15 seconds still being declared here. And a vehicle where it really shouldn't be, causing a little bit of compression. Everyone gets away with it. Dangerous moment perhaps with well, 2.5 miles remaining, so we're past that 4K. This is the pickup I was telling you about, the bridge they've got to go over, just over a piece of water to Vacation Island. It looks like it's too much for our breakaway boys. You can see they're just getting to the crown of it right now, and there they're on to Vacation Isle as we stand. But the catch has been made. A lot of people trying to take pictures and then having to dive back in at the very last moment. All of the highway being used here, Brian.
Yeah, the 2 riders still hanging out in front, Clark and Rathe, but it won't be too much longer. A good job being done on the right-hand side by Alex Peters and the British champion Peter Kenyon. But you see all the riders all over the road. Ethics Quick Step coming up on the right-hand side. Dimension Data also in the mix.
Knocking it back, Katusha. Hopefully they haven't done too much work throughout the day. BMC moving in. So are Dimension Data, who've bagged the left-hand side of the road. So right-hand as you look at it. Ethics Quick Step also in there. So Mark Cavendish in old familiar company. And just look at Team Lotto Jumbo. This is for Groenewegen, and they're going to go early by the looks of things. 3.3 kilometres to go. They're just coming off this bridge, and then they're going to make, don't forget, a turn, and it's going to be a right-hander, and it's going to be an important one to at least have some road space, and that's what they're buying here right now, Brian.
Yeah, they're riding in the front. The last man on the train is Groenewegen. Everybody fighting. This is where potentially the wind coming from the right-hand side, but it's not too strong today. The riders in the yellow heading towards the fronts of the peloton, but on the left-hand side, you can see the white jerseys of Team Dimension Data coming up.
Clever thing to do. They get out to the nose, and that gives them a chance to drift over to the part of the road that they want. They'll get towards the centre, and suddenly that's backed by Katusha, working for Alexander Kristoff. He gets into place right now. It opens up space on the left-hand side of the road. That's being absorbed. Even Hagen's Barman, the Axion group, want this. There's the turn we were saying, with 2Ks to go. It's a long one as well. This is Wise driving on here, pushing on by Team Lotto Jumbo. They take this rise, yet another one to go over a highway, 290-degree curves, and then it will open up yet again. We see as well that Wouter Whippet, I think, is maybe going to have to go a little bit freestyle later on. He's got a man with him. I think Lawson Cranach, Talansky also up here as well. Oh my goodness, there's a lot of pace about this. Wise moves perhaps. Here's that 90-degree that we were telling you about, almost followed immediately by another one. Now the road from now on in, bananas if you like, it has a gentle curve on Kivira Way. It's a right-hander, and Lotto really have thrown the cat amongst the pigeons. They knocked back the pace just a little bit, but it's really thinned out here. Big pickup by Trek for Bonifazio and Carl Reinen. He's up here, but they're looking for each other. Their train's broken down ever so slightly, and we're looking for Mark Cavendish. He's over to the right-hand side of the road. It's opening up for them. Katusha just box clever and try and cramp their style just a little bit. Peter Sagan is in here and almost gets into Dimension Data. Just knocked back a little bit, slightly divorced from his teammates, the world champion, as you can see. Bonan's here, boxing clever. Katusha still rolling into this one.
Really messy sprint now, but you can just see Mark Cavendish, couple of riders in front of him, but all over the place, and it does look as if Tinkoff leading this out for Adam Blythe, but in the red you can see Christoph in a very good position.
Bonan's at the back of a small train of three, but they're picking this up big time, and it's Tinkoff that are leading in at the moment, going for it for a long one. Is Mark Cavendish going to have to do this on his own? No, he's got Peter Sagan though, hoboing on his own train. They split wide across the road. Nice pickup as well by Groenewegen, who goes dead centre with a treble one.
Poppel. En dan ook nog Wouter Whippet. Wordt het dan een Nederlands feestje? Sagan, Groenewegen of Wouter Whippet? Groenewegen of Wouter Whippet? Groenewegen of toch nog Sagan? Sagan voor nummer 14. Ja hoor, 14e zege in de Tour of California voor Peter Sagan. Goedemiddag.